Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and so I am here today to do a video, but first things first, I want to do a redrawing for the little fall journal. I never heard back from Pamela, so I kept all the names in the bag. They're still all in there, so I'm just going to draw another one. Swishing around, I'm not looking. Alright, who do we have? Jean Blonde. Jean Blonde. So go ahead and message me on my Etsy shop, the conversation part, and I will get this shipped out to you when I have your address. So congratulations, Jean. So, okay, now the other thing that we need to do today is, oh, I finished this, so I should show you this, huh? So, I can't remember, I think I had the tie done, maybe not. It's a piece of tea towel that I ripped, and then I stitched some of this red, kind of like a plaid, red and cream plaid colored fabric onto the strip, and then I also stitched this piece of eyelet lace. So I just did a stitch there, and stitch there, and went all the way down the ribbon. Stitch that on so that those are together. And then there's the angel that we were going to put on the front, and I just took some red fabric and glued it down and then put a piece of the eyelet over the top of it. And I only glued it here and here, so there's no glue on the spine because I didn't want it going through and sticking my pages together and stuff. So that's how I did that. And then this is this, and I added the angel and the, I think I did this with you guys, in the paper from Rachel at Roxy Creations, that beautiful Florentine paper. And then this is our little pocket. Can't remember if I did that with you guys. I'm sorry, it's hard for me to remember. I did a lot of it that same day. I just kept working on it while I was editing my video and stuff like that, and waiting, you know, for it to upload and all that. These are just pieces of ephemera. That's Tim Holtz, and I just added some of Rachel's coffee dyed paper, and that's a copy. And then this one I did the same thing and just stitched that angel tag on there. And I don't know where I got that angel tag. It was in my Christmas ephemera, and I know I've had it for ages, so sorry, I don't know where that one came from. And then these are, this is Tim Holtz, and I just inked it. Just stuck those in there. I thought that was fun. And that's the music paper. I added these little tickets here because one thing I won't do again is use a very thin, fine paper to do this. I think that it works much better to use either like cardstock or put two pieces of thinner paper together to make the pages, because this wants to like wiggle and move. It's better now that I added these two little tickets because it just gives it some structure, but because it was so soft and thin, it just kept wanting to like go in weird. So I think it just, you know, this one's heavier and was pulling on it. So it helped putting these two tickets here. And then the Santa picture, and anything you do to strengthen them helps, like, you know, putting these kind of papers on also helps. And then there's the little Santa, and I added a little label and stamped December 25th on it. And then that's more paper. You guys saw this one. That's that old envelope. I added this little pocket. I think that was a piece of Tim Holtz ephemera, and I tore it in half last year. So I just made it into a little pocket, and then this was in my stash too, so I'm not sure where I got that image. But I backed it with just some of that manila type paper. Or maybe this was coffee dyed. No, that's that kid's drawing paper. And that goes in there. And then I turned this into a pocket, just used that paper that I had a scrap of. And this is, I can't think of what they're called. Those cards, you know. Oh my gosh. My brain. I swear I turned the camera on and it just goes, bye. And that's Tim Holtz, and that Santa's an image I had. I'm trying to use up, you know, a lot of my stuff. And this is Mrs. Coggs. I went and got some of her Nativity is what this one is. So that's by Mrs. Coggs. And then this is Tim Holtz, and this is an image I found on New York Public Library. Isn't that beautiful? I love that picture. And then inside of there is another like postcard, but it's not, you know, it's one I got off of New York Public Library, so I made it a little smaller. And just backed it with some of Rachel's coffee stain paper. That text in there. I love that image as well. The little angel here. And that's that old composition notebook I have that has little fuzzies. And this is, that's Antique Paperia, that image. And this is some of the paper that Rachel sent. And then I open this and a tuck, and I just did one of those little, you know, so you can have an extra little spot to write. And I decided I am going to go ahead and put this one in my Etsy. So we're going to work on a bag today to put it in, so it'll, you know, be inside of there, just for a little fun extra on it. And so I have a Glassine bag that I coffee stained, and I just, you know, did the regular, stacked them up, poured coffee over them as I stacked them, because that way you can get in between, otherwise the one layer will kind of stay white. And this is from Medieval Mirage. This is that, the fragments one that I was telling you about the other day that is linked in the video, my last video, but I'll link it in the description box below too. But I just cut it out, and then I cut out the center of it because I wanted to be able to see through the center. And then this is also a piece of that fragments, medieval fragments paper. So I thought we could do something like this and like that. Then you'll be able to see the journal through there, is kind of what I was thinking. I hope that this will stay on here. I'm a little bit worried because this is obviously slippery, but it tends to hold glue pretty good. We're just gonna, oh, you know what I need to do though? I need to ink those, sorry. Forgot to do that. I was trying to, you know, plan and do stuff, but I just got back from taking my son to band practice. They don't have school today, but they have to go to band practice, and he was running late, and my daughter had to go because she's drum major, so she has to be there earlier to set stuff up and do stuff like that, and she was not waiting for him. So I just got back from taking him. He actually drove. He is still working on that with his learner's permit, so hopefully soon we can get him driving. I don't know what he'll drive because we don't have another car, but they might have to just share for a while until they both have some kind of job, or one or the other, whoever, and then that one can buy a new car or a used car, whatever. Oopsie. Just want to get a little bit, this is printed on that manila paper, so it doesn't really look white anyway, but I like to take down those edges. I love this Medieval Mirage. It just looks so cool, I think. And I think this particular one, this Medieval Fragments, is really cool for Christmas type stuff, because there aren't a lot of images. I mean, there's a few things. There's like these, and let's see if I can find it. This type of thing, but there aren't a ton of images, so I really think it lends itself well to mixing with whatever. I mean, you could do, you know, like I'm doing Nativity, you can do Santa Clauses, you can do whatever with it, and it just tends to work pretty well, I think. So I like that. So we're going to put lots of glue on here. I hope you're all having a great day. I did not have to go to work this morning, so I'm having a fabulous day. Oopsie. It always makes for a nice day when I don't have to go. I know that sounds horrible, but it's a little bit true. I think we all kind of feel that way. I mean, depending on what your job is. I also consider this like a job, but this one I definitely, I wish I could do this all the time, full time. That would be fabulous. But it's like lots of artistic things, it's hard to make enough money to survive on. Alright, and I'm going to do this, and I know I just did the one thing on that book page before I folded it, but I really don't want this to stick because it's got all kinds of, like that, little fine parts that I don't want to, and it's important that I cover everything because if I don't, it will probably lift. So we want to make sure we get all the little edges. I got that glob of glue right there. I think I got it now. Turn it. What am I doing? And I didn't want to see this piece of paper through this side, so I think I did it right. A little glue there. Okay, so I just think that'll be kind of cool because then you'll still be able to see in there a little bit. And I have this Tim Holtz Christmas ephemera Santa, and I thought he goes pretty good. He's got that kind of, you know, that Victorian era kind of look. And I know the medieval obviously is older than that, but a lot of that gilded frames and all that kind of stuff was in at that time. Not that it has to be perfect, I kind of like to try to sort of stay in the right time periods if, you know, possible. Unless you're mixing everything, and it doesn't matter. I think I am going to put just a bit of cheesecloth behind him. This is just coffee dyed cheesecloth. Nothing fancy. I'm just going to kind of open it up because this particular piece is kind of thick in spots where it's, you know, folded over a lot. I just get rid of some of it. It was probably the edge. I may just cut a lot of it away. But let's see here what we got. It's really thick right here. I don't want to lose all that color really though. So yeah, it was hard getting those kids up and moving this morning. They, if they get days off, you know, they don't want to, 2 layers, that's why. They don't want to go, which I don't blame them. But, they have to have band because we have big competition tomorrow, so. I'm going to ink this just a little bit because this particular part of the cheesecloth, it didn't really get much color. Alright, he's going to go there, I think. I think I'm going to use wet glue just to make sure he stays down. And of course we checked the weather this morning, my husband and I, and only day this week it's gonna rain is tomorrow. I'm like, why can't it rain today and just get it over with? But you know, it doesn't work that way. So we'll probably be marching in the rain. It's fine, we'll just have to wear our warm stuff and our ponchos, and it is what it is. Kids will have fun regardless. They love that. I'm a little worried about the drum majors though, because they wear gowns, you know, with no sleeves and stuff like that, and that gets a little chilly. I'm almost kind of doing like decoupage down here where I put that glue. Just really am worried about those edges. They seem to be pretty good, but don't want stuff falling apart on people. It's stuck down. Okay. So there's that much, and then I have this poinsettia, and this is just a sticker that I've had for a bit, and I'm going to ink it a tiny bit because it is pretty brassy looking. It's kind of convenient because it's on this piece of plastic. Makes it easy to ink. Ink those a little. Just thought it might look kind of cool down here. I'm going to put extra glue since it's just a sticker, just to make sure. I thought about possibly using this bow that I just made out of some cotton that I coffee stained and ripped into strips. But I don't want it hanging in Santa's face either. Yeah, I think something like that will work if we play with it a bit. So let's see what we can do. Trying to figure out. We're gonna cut that one a little shorter and fray it. There's the knot for this, because I want to make sure I get, just want to kind of pull it away from the knot that I've made that's holding it together and kind of fluff it a little bit, so that hopefully when I put it down, I'm going to put some extra glue right here on the knot, and also that's what's going to hold it down. Put that right up at the top. I might have to trim those still a bit. Might have to wait till it dries to really play with it here. I don't want to mess it up. Kind of got carried away with the glue, but I don't want that to fall off. I think I'm just going to let it sit for a minute and, you know, dry. There's that, and I started another one of these journals, so I think I'll work on that for a few minutes. So if you don't want to watch any more of this journal stuff, I understand completely. But I did start another one, and I printed out a whole bunch of Mrs. Cog's nativity ones. A lot of them are duplicates, but they're beautiful. So I thought those would be fun to use. And this one, more of a nativity theme on that. And I think I want to do some papers that have a little more blue in them added to these ones. So I have this. I might end up saving this one. Let me see. I kind of want to use, where did it go? Oh, this one. And that's Paper Studio paper. I don't remember how wide these are. I never measured them. They just come kind of, I used this piece from Medieval Mirage, and I think it's supposed to go this way. And I just used a different paper on the outside. It's still Medieval Mirage, but this is one of her whole sheets. But this one on the inside was cut just like that. So I just cut around it and glued two of them together. Because like I said, you really want 3 3/4 by 5. Sorry. You want to have some strength to those. So let's see, that would be 6. Let's go to 7. And they don't have to all be exact, because it's not a big deal. If they're different sizes, it works out fine. It actually, I kind of like it. It looks kind of cool when they're all different sizes like that. So. A little taller. And I'm just going to back it with some of this for this one. So although this blue is a little bit more green, I just didn't have a lot of different blues to use, but I think it'll be fine. There's a lot of blue in those Mrs. Cog's images. That's why I wanted to bring in some blue. And Mrs. Cog's is on Etsy. I mean, I'm sure you guys know. And it's called Mrs. Cog's Crafts, if you don't know. And I'll link it below in the description box. And it doesn't matter if this is straight, because we're just gonna, you know, tear it out anyway. So I'm gonna let that dry for a second, and I'm gonna figure out what I want to do with this one, because I am gonna have to cut it down. It's too big. See, this is how these Medieval Mirage ones come, you know, with the edges are all kind of torn like that. This one I'm going to do a little different, because I don't want you guys to have to watch me cut it all out. So in that Medieval Fragments, which you can see right here, Medieval Fragments, they're parchment pages, and they come mostly in red, green, and blue. So that's why it's kind of a perfect kit to do. I think there's one purple one too. Perfect kit to do kind of Christmassy stuff with. And we probably will tear this down more, because I think that's a little big, but I'm just trying to get some of my pages together and think about how I want to do this. Oh, I want to use this one too, because that's kind of a perfect one as well. I have all these strips of paper now. It's like, what am I going to do with all these strips? I might try to use a little bit of like coffee dyed paper on here. Oh, there's some purple paper. But just for some added variation, right? I guess I don't really need to back the whole thing, so let's see, how long is this piece? Okay, so I have mixed reviews on the whole the whole camera angle thing. Like, some people say that this is better, some people say it was better before. I don't know what to do. Because I really want it to be, you know, okay. I mean, I tried to make it really nice and straight. So I think that it should be okay now, but I don't know. Let me know if you still feel like, some people felt like it was like I was working on a wall or something like that. I have my camera angled straight down towards my desk, but I don't know, for whatever reason it's giving people like a weird angle kind of thing. So I guess we need to keep working on it. And this is the only camera I have, and I know you can do it with your phone, but the problem with the phone is I, you know, get calls quite often during the day, and I don't want it to be a problem all the time, so I really don't want to use my phone. And I don't have anything to hold my phone with. All I have is this tripod, and it's for a camera, and I have no way of like hooking my phone to it. I had to go ahead and take the edges off of this because it was just too big, unfortunately, because those were really cool. But so I'm just taking it down to like this size, which is right about that size, so that's perfect. And then I don't think I have any more. I'm trying to think of something to back it with that would look kind of cool. Let's see. I have this bag full of all these magazines, but it has these old envelopes in it, like the one I used to back some of those other ones. And these envelopes are super duper old. They're like over 100 years old. Which seems sad to use them for this in some ways, but they're so frail that I don't think... That one's in pretty good shape. I don't think that you could use them really as envelopes anymore. They're just like super fragile. This is like pattern for embroidery. It's really big. I would love to use this, but I don't want to do that, so I think I'll just stick with using this kind of stuff. Do I have any that are... These ones are a little darker. Let's use this one. Okay, now that I have a gigantic mess going, this is really sticky. Loads of these for tags. I could start folding them the other way too for journaling cards. Okay, Jace. I love making these books though. They are so fun. I'm glad Rachel saw the other lady do that. And I did link her, the original lady, in my last video at the bottom. So hopefully you guys got to see that. I want this whole edge right here because I just like it. It's nice and crusty looking. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let that one dry, and I'm going to tear this one out. I just like to let it dry a little before I start tearing, because sometimes the paper just won't really tear. It does other weird stuff. Let's see. Well, this one's dry, but it does that still. It's probably the way I hold it, I'm sure. Yeah. Like that. Not enough pressure in the middle, and then it comes out. It's going to take some inking on that. It just wants to rip weird. A lot of these are tall. I might have to tear some of them a little more. In fact, I'm going to just do that. Which end is the worst? This one. Make it a little shorter. There we go. So yeah, just let me know on the camera. I mean, I'm really trying, I promise. I'm not trying to make any of you ill or feel weird. And some people said it was great, so I don't know. I guess it just depends on your, how you're seeing it, kind of thing. And I know it depends on what you're using too, because a lot of times on my phone, well, I can't see a lot on my phone just because it's little, but it's completely different than like when I watch it on my television, as far as how it appears to be and the angle and stuff like that. So that also can have an effect. And some people may only watch on one device, so to them it's always going to look the same. Got ink on my nails. I like to turn it that way so you get that line down that center part too. But you don't have to ink if you don't want to do that, because I know a lot of people don't like it. I like the grunginess. Now I got little fuzzies all over. I'm gonna move this out of the way because I'm gonna get stuff on it. Sorry about that. All right, so I have this one, so that's a little shorter. Then this is kind of how you got to do it. You just got to play with it and figure out, what levels of whatever you want. But I think it's going to help to add a little blue, because you'll see all the blue in there. I just think that'll be better, even though that's got more green in it. I think it'll help, hopefully. But I kind of like the look of this with some papers that aren't even Christmas papers. I just think it adds kind of a neat look to it. I'm just going to take this edge off. And then I have this one short one that I did that's a piece of ephemera and, just some Rachel's paper in there. I want this one a little shorter still. more variation on height. But yeah, if you haven't tried one of these, definitely try one, because they are loads of fun and much easier than sewing in signatures, I think. It's not even that sewing in signatures is complicated on how to do it. It's just that sometimes getting all the layers, you know, together and everything can be kind of aggravating. At least that's what I find. Maybe I'm the only one. Even when I clip it, a lot of the time I can't seem to get it right. I mean, eventually I get it, but it's not something I want to do on camera a whole lot. And you're lucky I didn't have you watch me do my Harlow journal, my Bohemian one, because it took me forever to get that one right. There's just, you know, lots of layers and lots of fabrics, and you couldn't really see the holes very well because of, you know, the fabrics and whatever, but I mean, it worked. It just took me a long time, and if I'd have done it on on camera, everybody would have been ready to choke me. I think this is going to be my cover. I'll do this one, and I had the red one. Sorry, see, I've kept adding paper over here, so now I have this mess. What did I do with those colors one? That must have been all of them. I thought I had a red one, because I could use a red one. That one's really tall, so I probably should do one more tall one. Oh, there's the red one. And it's tall. Or anyway, not quite as tall as that front one, but that's okay, because I'm going to stagger them like I did the last one. So what is that? 5 and this. I think that'll probably be enough. I kind of want to use that though. I only have one piece that isn't Medieval Mirage. Sorry, these are the struggles of of doing this kind of stuff sometimes with my brain. You know, it would be kind of cool to use this Tim Holtz, like this piece right here. So let's see. What is that? Just about get that right size. What is it on the, oh, it's kind of nice on the other side even. I don't even have to add a whole lot to that. And because Tim Holtz is a thicker paper, it doesn't necessarily need another layer anyway. It kind of goes with that, is what I'm thinking. And another thing I'm going to put in my Etsy is that little fall pocket that I showed you guys the other day. This one. With all of these, those vintage posters that I have in my shop. That's a digi in my shop. So if you're looking for some fall ephemera, those are great because you can shrink them, you know, make them bigger, whatever. So that works kind of nice, I think. That's how I think we're going to do that one. So let me see. I need some pieces of paper to go. What did I do with my... Some scraps. I'm just going to tear them because that's what I did the other day. And I liked the look. Hinges is what I'm trying to say. Oh, if you guys get a chance and you want to see, you know, some of my digis in action kind of thing, you should check out both Rachel just did, you know, an amazing journal using one of my digis. I mean, she's so talented. And also Samantha at Samantha Jared on YouTube, she did an amazing journal as well. So both of them, I thank everybody so much. You guys are awesome on my design team, and I just want to thank all of you because you all do incredible, incredible work. And Denise at one of our crafts right now is working on a beautiful fall journal using my Fall is in the Air and her Fickle Fall. And Denise always just does outstanding work. I mean, her work is, I don't know how she does it. Sometimes the slow stitching, and you know, she does just all kinds of really cool things like that, and she usually always puts it in a box and you get a cool pin, and I don't know, she just does really beautiful work. All the ladies on my team do, and I couldn't thank them more. They're all amazing. Gail, of course, is amazing, which y'all know. So anyway, just go check out some of their work lately. They've done some beautiful things if you want to see some of those. Samantha also did a really pretty purple journal. And Allie's been working hard on getting stuff ready for the retreat that they had. It's over now, but she's been super busy. Craig's busy. So I'm going to try and do these together, but I'm going to like line them up and leave that line in between so that hopefully I can get them to fold. I mean, not that the other one folded bad, it's fine. I just, you know, I just really want it to fold really well. And there again is that white edge in there, which can be inked, and also it will get covered. So like the last one, it's not that big of a deal if it's showing. This is just seriously the easiest way, and I'm sorry I'm making another one. I'm just having too much fun with these, and I'd like to come on and hang out with you guys. So like I said, if you're bored, I totally get it, and go do something you want to do if you don't want to watch, because I understand if you got other stuff going on. You know what? That's not going to work. And I'm not measuring these, as you can see. I'm just kind of, I mean, I'm trying to get them straight, but it doesn't really make that big of a difference. It's just your hinge, you know, it doesn't matter. I mean, you probably don't want to make them tiny because then you'll get wobbling happening, but you know, if you make them about 2 inches or whatever, they'll work fine. So yeah, I hope this camera angle is better. Sorry, my brain's all over the place today. I'm thinking about lots of things, so I am jumping back and forth and around, and I apologize. I just thinking about it, you know? Don't want people to feel ill while watching. That's really not a good thing. I don't think it'll work to line them up that way, because then with the thickness coming, it doesn't work. So let's just make sure we got this. Try to get it straight. Alright. Another page. See, so I like staggering them because then it gives some strength to these edges that are sticking up higher. They, you know, they won't tend to fold and stuff if they've got something backing behind them. If that makes any sense at all. But just doing that, I think, just helps keep it nice and strong. Okay, what did I do with my... What's this one? I think it's a little big, but we're going to tear it anyway. This paper is from something asparagus. I can't think of it now. It was seriously my favorite paper when I was scrapbooking over 10 years ago. Can't think of what it's, something asparagus though, but anyway, love that paper. I still just have some bits of parts of it left. It's just great, nice, thick, sturdy, awesome paper, and just great old colors and stuff. Daisy D is another one that I just loved, and I wish still was around. At least I don't think it is. I've looked and I can't find it anywhere. But that was another one of my top favorites that I wish was still around. I think I'm going to go up higher with this, not lower. Oh, I forgot to ink that. Oh, let's get this side glued down at least. And I am staggering my hinges a tiny bit, but I'm kind of keeping them towards the middle. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out which way I want that. Come up, but not all the way to the top. Make sure we get this right. That looks pretty straight. That's really the trickiest part, is just trying to keep, you know, from sloping weird or something like that. But these are easy. Oh, that 25 cents is upside down. I probably should have turned it the other way. Oh well. Too late now. Something was going to be upside down on that regardless. Okay, I need another hinge. Got little glue goobers. Is that kind of crazy on there? I think it's okay. It's just a hinge. It's not gigantic, so. Yeah, so as soon as I'm done here, I get to go rake leaves because all the leaves have fallen pretty much, not entirely, but for the most part, all the leaves have fallen off our trees. So one of my least favorite things to do. Fall is not, I mean, I love the weather in the fall and the leaves, and I love all that part of it. But I sort of lose interest in the garden thing in the fall. I don't know why, because in the spring I'm all about it. You know, I'm out there planting stuff and doing stuff. For some reason in the fall I'm just ready for it to not have to mess with it, I guess. Bad like that. And that's when everything, that was really smart. Everything has to be cleaned up, you know, like we have grapevines out there, and you know, just trees with leaves and all that kind of thing. And stuff just needs to be winterized and cleaned up. I have done a lot of it already, but it's just not my favorite thing to do. I think I like spring with all the newness and the excitement of what's coming, and I don't feel that way in this time of the year. I'm kind of dreading, and you know, I do not love winter. I will take summer over winter, the heat of summer. And nobody in my family agrees with me on that, but I don't like the cold. I feel like I can cool off easier than I can get warm, I guess is what the thing is. I mean, if all else fails, just go, you know, hold the hose over your head on a hot day. But even just sticking your feet in cold water helps. But when I get cold, really cold, it can take me hours to get warm. And I don't know why that is, but I probably have some weird circulation problems. Well, I know I don't have great circulation, but anyway. Yeah, it just is not fun. I'm just looking for more scraps. I don't know what I did with my little package of scraps. I don't like that. Did you like that? That lasted long, huh? Use a piece of this lace. I think I want it a little bit longer, especially once I tear it. But yeah, and I never get hurting as much in the heat as I do in the cold, so. After I get these two on, I will let you guys go free, because you've already seen all this. And I couldn't stop decorating last time, so I apologize I didn't video that. I just was, you know, editing my video and uploading and doing all that, and having too much fun, I guess. Sorry, I keep forgetting to check if I'm in screen, because like I said, I've moved stuff around and I probably have been off half the time, huh? Am I going to go high? I'm going to go a little bit high. This book's a little bit bigger than the other one. Okay, one more. Let's use our bells again. Bells work. This needs to be a bit shorter. I don't even think, did I do that one around there? Yeah, I did around the edges. It's funny, you like start to do stuff on autopilot and don't even remember doing it. It's kind of scary. Kind of scary. Going like that. So the smaller portion is on the inside here. I was thinking I should real quick make a Halloween one using my Spooky Time Digi before it, because I've hardly, I mean I did the one big project with it, but and that was a while ago, but I just haven't had time. It's just time is marching on, no kidding. No pun intended, but it is. I feel like I never get to, you know, enjoy the season that is, because we're always working on the next season kind of thing. It's just crazy. And time goes too fast. And you want to do all kinds of, you know, fun stuff for the different seasons. But it doesn't work. And I know I don't have to do this because I'm going to cover it, but that's me. So I'm inking it. Okay. Alright, so there's another one that I will decorate and I'll be ready. So yeah, those are so fun. I mean, that is super fun, I think. You know what else I was thinking? I do some Stampin' Up! Stuff too, just if you don't watch all my videos, because like some people watch my Stampin' Up! Videos and some people watch my junk journal videos. But anyway, you could use, like, go through the old paper pumpkins and use old cards and do the same thing. And just decorate them like with all the old pieces of paper pumpkins. Nan, that one's for you. Nan watches both, and she likes to have ideas for the Stampin' Up! Stuff. So you could definitely, yeah, use like old card bases and old papers and then decorate them with, like, you know, pieces that are left over from the kit. So these would be a great thing for that. I mean, this is like a huge scrap buster because you can essentially use all scraps. I mean, for the most part, I've been using newer stuff, but you know, I do use scraps for the hinges, and like this particular piece of Tim Holtz was a scrap, and you know, stuff like that. So definitely think about that. And again, just want to make sure everybody heard, Jean Blonde, contact me on my Etsy and this will be coming your way. Alright, so I will talk to you guys later. I hope you have an awesome day, and if you like my videos, please like and subscribe. Bye bye now.